Students, before we practice editing a passage, let's understand what editing is. You must be editing your photographs, your videos. But what is the reason? Maybe to beautify them, to correct them, to make some changes in them, to make them look more presentable so that you may fetch more likes, more comments. Okay, and how you do that? By cropping the pictures, by adding stickers, by setting the resolution, by setting the brightness, or maybe by editing text, by adding text. And how do we edit a passage in English? Let's see that. Now, here we have a passage. Let's go through it first. And we have to check whether we find it correct or some changes are needed. The passenger were waiting at the station when 5 policemen rushing into different compartments of a train. After some time, one of them comes out with 2 young men, and soon the other policeman joined her. The men which had been arrested was being caught for a theft. Do you find it grammatically correct? No, you must have noticed that there are some errors. So we are supposed to detect those errors and replacing them with correct words to make our passage more presentable. So let's do it. And what is the first rule for that? We need to go through the passage twice to understand which tense has been used. Let's say if the passage is in present tense, then we should be able to see the verbs which are used in present tense is am, are, has, have, can, do, does, first form of the verb. If it is in past, then there must be verbs like was, were, had, second form of the verb, would, should, could, might. So let's see. Let us read it once again. The passenger were waiting at the station when 5 policemen rushing into different compartments of a train. After some time, one of them comes out with 2 young men, and soon the other policeman joined her. The men which had been arrested was being caught for a theft. So here we have noticed that only at one place present tense is used, but the remaining passage is given in past tense. That means we have to follow past tense. So let's begin with the first one. The passenger were waiting. Do you find that these two are in agreement? No, these two are not in agreement. Either it should be was or we should make the subject plural. But as per rules for editing, we should go for minimum changes. We should go for minimum editing. So we can make it passengers. It should be passengers. So we can mark it. Next we have station when 5 policemen rushing into. Now rushing into different compartments of a train, the sentence sounds incomplete. And here in place of rushing, it should be rushed. Then into different compartments of a train. Are we differentiating between compartments of a train? No, we are into different compartments. We are talking about many compartments here. So here error is difference. Next we have after sometimes one of them. Now what do you mean by sometimes? Means not so often, occasionally, but here the speaker is saying after some times, means after some minutes, after some moments, later. This is the meaning. So here in place of sometimes it should be sometime. After sometimes one of them comes out. We have already marked this. The passage is in past tense, so it should also be came out with 2 young men. And soon the other policeman joined her. I guess we are not talking about any female here, so it should be him in place of her. The men which had been arrested. Here we are talking about human beings. We are talking about people. So here in place of which it should be who. Who had been arrested was been. We never use been with was or is. Either we use being, or in place of was, it should be had. The men who had been arrested had been caught for a theft. I hope this is clear now how to mention these in our answers. You always get these two headings against the passage, and here you can see the numbering A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. So in editing, we are supposed to write both incorrect as well as correct words. Suppose there are 8 points, then we can go only for the correct words. Otherwise, if there are 4, then we are supposed to write both, because the passage comes in 4 marks and errors carry 2 marks, and 2 marks are carried by corrections. So we have already marked our errors. So error here is passengers, sorry, it's passenger, and correction is passengers. Now B, we have rushing, and it should be rushed. Then we have difference, it should be different. Then we have sometimes, it should be sometime. Then there is comes, it should be came. In place of her, it should be his. Which, who, and in place of was, it should be had. And here the last sentence, we can see they had stealed 2 cars. This is also wrong, because stealed is incorrect past participle of steal. It should be stolen. Now we'll discuss more in our next video about the trick. Thank you for watching.